William Spencer here, sharing lessons I've learned from 100,000 kilometers of cycling all around the world. Right now, let's talk about what you can do to get ready to go long distance cycling. We're going to look at gears, handlebars, pedals, good safety equipment, and we'll end with 3 points of the right kind of mindset that will set you up for success.
The most important thing when you're on a touring bike is that you're going to be carrying luggage, whether it's bikepacking or bike touring. And that luggage means every time you face a hill or a mountain, it's going to be hard going. So you want gears that are going to allow you to spin your feet as fast as possible to make those hills bearable and to keep your knees, joints, muscles protected. So here's my setup. So here on the front chain ring, you see 3 rings, but the smallest has 20 or 22 teeth. And then on the back, on the cassette, you want the largest gear to have 34 or 36. If your bike gearing is not adequate, your local bike shop can help you. I have found that changing the front chain rings so that we go all the way down to 20 or 22 teeth, and the smallest of those 3 rings or 2 rings, however many you have, is the way to go. That's often easier and cheaper for the bike store to do than change the rear cassette.
So the bottom line here is that most bikes are not made for bicycle touring. They do not have gearing that's suitable for getting you and your bags up a steep incline where you need your feet to be moving and spinning faster. So you will probably need to change the gearing on your bike, even on a good bike. And when you do it, don't worry about the other end of the gear range. In other words, when you want to go fast. Most of the times on bike touring, when you want to go fast, you're going downhill and your weight's going to carry you anyway. Handlebars, 2 ideas. The first is that you want your handlebars higher than your saddle for an upright riding position. There's all sorts of reasons why that's a good idea. If you've not already bought your bike, you can look for, I recommend that you look for, a bike with as upright a riding position as possible. This is going to save your arms, neck, and back. And the second idea in this video is a recommendation for a particular style of handlebars. Both of these ideas are going to be somewhat controversial. People will disagree with me. Please do. Let's get a good chat going down below. All I can say is that these 2 ideas are what I have learned from my personal experience from doing many, many miles.
Firstly, you want the handlebars higher than the saddle, a few inches even. You can extend them higher by adding a extending unit like I have here, or some handlebar stems will have an adjustment where you can make it higher. Number 2, the handlebars themselves. These are butterfly handlebars. There is nothing better, in my opinion, when you're on the bike for days, months. You can change the position of your hands. This helps relieve pressure on your arms, your back, your neck. Priceless for long distance, many hours on the bicycle. Number 1, these plastic half clips. They hold your foot right where it's meant to be in relationship to the pedal, so that the ball of your foot is over the axle of the pedal, the center of the pedal here. I'll never cycle again without these. Very valuable. Number 2, spacers here. These hold the pedals a little further away from each other because most people of an average or a larger size have hip bones that hold your legs further apart than most bicycle pedals are made. So without these spacers, your legs are skewed inward, and over time, that's damaging for your knees and your hips. Number 3, this is just a nice to have, not necessarily essential, but you'll see these pedals have these little metal studs. On the top here, you can unscrew and remove them if you want, but they hold your feet steady no matter how muddy and wet things are.
We're looking now at safety, particularly things you can do to set yourself up to be safe before you leave. There's many other things to talk about with safety when you're actually on the road, but this is a couple of extra ideas about things you may not have heard or thought of to set yourself up safely so that you can go off and do your long distance bicycle tour or bike packing.
You already know about wearing a helmet. You already know that you should carry LED lights front and rear. And you already know that bright clothing will help you be seen. Those three go without saying. Here are two extra. The first, this little plastic flag makes drivers give you more space as they pass. Very important. And when I don't use it, it just folds away. Yes, it looks a little weird, but I find very helpful safety. This really should be number one, mirrors on your handlebars. You'll see this is a really big one I have here. It folds out of the way when I don't need it. Mirrors allow you to have full spatial awareness of what's around you, what's coming up behind you.
You're getting your bike ready, you're getting your bike bags, your things together. But what about your mindset, your thoughts and your feelings? So here are 3 steps on that level that I've learned from a lifetime of cycling. So the first is you want to have a clean slate so that things that could pull you back don't pull you back until you're ready to return with your 2-wheel steed. So leave with a clean slate. Get rid of financial debt. Go see your dentist. Get rid of emotional debts. Settle up things as much as you can. This way, the bicycle can work its magic for you as you cycle across many miles and kilometers. If you're like me, you've been looking at Facebook groups for cycle touring, bike packing. One of the things I see there is the amount of stuff that people lay out to show you of what they're taking before they start is sometimes, in my opinion, some people will disagree, but in my opinion, is more than you're going to need. Most of the long distance cyclists that I've met as I've toured around the world tell stories about needing less than they thought, about getting rid of things, about sending parcels home because they realized they really didn't need something that they thought they were sure they were going to need. So wherever there's roads, there are people. And wherever there are people, there's shelter, there's food, there's comfort. So if you have the wherewithal to pay for that, to exchange your labor for what you need, then you're set. So you actually need to carry less than you might think, because much of what you need you can find on the way. And much of what you need, turns out, you don't actually need it. That's one of the joys of being on the bicycle, is the joy of finding out how little a human being really needs to survive and thrive. How about that? And number three is to leave with a light heart. Any big undertaking, like the long distance bicycle journey that you're contemplating, is by its nature going to generate fear, uncertainty, and doubt. This is the way the human mind works. You will find that when you leave, those clouds of fear, uncertainty, and doubt dispel as you move towards them and you start on your journey. There's nothing like actually just taking off. You won't meet a lot of people who will tell you anything about regrets of having left on a long distance bike tour. So just start. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, click the thumbs up and subscribe for more quick tip videos. My book might give you inspiration to leave on your own long distance bike journey.